Okay, so we're gonna call this meeting to order Wednesday, August 27th at 5:30 PM or 5:31 PM. Special Board of Directors meeting. We're gonna start with roll call.
All right. Doug Emden Hall, let's see. Michaela Anderson. Okay. Gina Beam.
Present.
Phil Morton.
Present.
Bill Hageborn. Okay. And Greg Kennerly.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. You're louder than me.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it's
One
nation,
under
under God, indivisible,
with liberty and
justice for all.
So Greg, we were talking right before we turned on the microphone about right now we don't have a quorum,
Okay.
but from what we've looked up, you don't need a quorum to swear in a board member.
Yeah, I don't have any idea.
Okay. Who's on the iPhone? Do we know?
That does not say.
Okay. So it doesn't require a vote, correct?
No.
So I think we're fine to move ahead with it. I mean, is anybody,
I
Bill?
feel comfortable with that.
Okay, Greg?
Yeah, I have any idea.
You feel comfortable moving on?
Yeah, like I say, I don't know. I guess we can go ahead and move on with it.
Okay.
We're not going to be able to vote on what we talked about then, right?
Well,
This is
once
George. Just give me one
Natasha's
second.
sworn in,
I'm
we'll
looking
have
at
a
Oregon
quorum.
law right now. Just give me 1 second, please.
Okay.
Pardon? No, Oregon, George said he was.
George is checking the Oregon
I
one.
just checked it and I didn't see where. Says the oath, is. While the oath can be administered at a meeting, it is not a transaction of business, for which a quorum is needed.
Did you hear that, George? And does it give an ORS or anything?
Yeah, I heard that, but I'm looking at something right now in ORS, and I think that might be wrong. Just 1 more second, please.
5.507 is the.
I didn't hear you, Sherry. What did you say?
It was ORS 555.507.
This is on website.
Yeah, I think that should be on the website.
Okay, sorry, everybody. So the way I'm interpreting it is that in order for us to even start the meeting, because we are, a public entity, that we would need a quorum in order to even start the meeting. So if we're not even able to start the meeting, I don't know how we can swear someone in.
Okay,
I mean, from what I'm reading, a meeting doesn't need to occur to swear me in. Traditionally, swearing in happens at meetings. But one doesn't have to be the other, but I also wanna make sure it's legit.
Yeah, I would say we can go ahead and do it, and we can find out later and confirm, but
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
Not an action by the board.
Hold on.
it stipulates also too of what's in our bylaws, but I don't believe our bylaws covers this. We're just in it, it's a unique position that we're in right now.
I think if she was being appointed by the board, she was elected, not appointed, I think if she was being appointed, we would have to have quorum because then you have to have it intensified.
Yeah, the part that I'm a little bit iffy on is the fact that it's saying to even start a meeting, so I don't think it has to deal
Yeah,
with
that
anything.
part makes sense, yeah.
The starting of the meeting is what the problem is that we can't start a meeting unless we have a quorum.
And delay this.
That's my only
So
hesitation.
yeah, we would need to adjourn, right, or call a recess until we verify. So we just can call a recess until we verify if we're able to and see if there is any other board members planning to attend and get confirmation on whether or not we can do the swearing in outside of the meeting. Okay,
Yeah, who are we missing?
Michaela and Doug and Bill.
No,
I know Doug, when I talked to him earlier today, was gonna try to be here, so I just reached out to Bill and Doug.
Yeah, if someone could just jump online so we can just at least get the meeting started.
Mhm.
I'm gonna be driving, so if you need me to speak, it's gonna take a minute or two.
Okay. So just confirming we have a quorum and we can move forward with the meeting. Do you want to call roll call again?
Yeah, I'll do the poll.
Okay,
Doug Mendenhall,
Here,
Greg Pennerly,
here,
Michaela Hammerson. Bill Hagedorn, aloha. Gina Bean,
here.
Bill Morton,
Here.
perfect, thank you.
Okay, so we can move to oh my lord, I need coffee and sleep. Agenda item 4. The swearing in of elected Transportation District Board Member Natasha Atkinson. Right. I have to stand up. You have to stand up, right? Alright. So you have to repeat after me. I, Natasha Atkinson,
I, Natasha Atkinson,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
the Constitution of the State of Oregon,
and the laws thereof,
and the laws thereof,
and that I will faithfully and honorably perform the duties of
and I will faithfully and honorably perform the duties of
Umpqua Public Transportation District Director,
Umpqua Public Transit District Director,
to which I have been elected
to which I've been
to
elected
the best of my ability, so help me God.
to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
Yeah.
You'll have to sign up on that.
Yes. Thanks, Jennifer.
All right.
So Greg and Doug, the next thing on the agenda was to go into executive session. However, I know Doug, you don't have a ton of time and you're driving. Are you guys good with us taking care of the new and old business before we go into executive session?
Yeah.
I'm gonna I'm gonna have more time now than I will later when I get to, less snow reception.
Okay. So would you rather us go into executive session now?
That would be my preference.
Okay, we can do that. Okay, so we're gonna go into executive session and we will let you guys know when we come back out.
Everybody that's online, if you could pop off and then go back into the waiting room and then we'll get you on regular session. Inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
Look, you go and talk to me.
I'll happily give that chair back.
I don't sit on it,
But we found Bill too.
Yeah, I didn't touch it. What island is he on now? Bill?
Oh, they're home.
Yeah.
Oh, there.
He said they just literally got home.
So, has everybody been accepted?
I think so.
I hit him at all, so. Unless
And did
they,
you push recording? Has it been?
no.
It's been recording.
Oh, okay. I was like, I did not touch anything.
Okay.
Okay, so we are out of executive session, do I need to give a summary of what we talked about? Perfect.
I'd like to make a motion to appoint Gina Beam as the point of contact for the Secretary of State investigation.
I second.
Do we have any discussion? Perfect, we can take a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
So Doug, Greg and Bill, I think I heard aye from all three of you. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay, so motion passes.
Bill, your motion.
Do you now, Bill?
I'm here. What was that?
Did you had the other motion to make, right?
Right.
Okay.
To make a motion if we don't, forget how I worded it now.
Two more time.
To make a motion to work with Jennifer Boardman to find outside consultation for restructuring.
Yes.
You wrote it down.
Is there a second to the motion to work with Jennifer Boardman to find outside consultation for restructuring?
Second.
Well, I feel like I halfway.
Okay, do we have any discussion?
I think here's where we talked about that a little bit. So, we talked about that at this time, due to financial concerns, like we don't feel like we can post the position, so we need to have conversations about what that means and what that looks like and how we move forward, with the funding that we have today, which is different than the funding was 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So that's the only
Yeah,
thing I
so
would say about that.
our plan
Thanks for
is,
What?
go ahead, Doug.
We missing about half that motion.
I don't think that was correct.
You want to amend it?
Doug, we can't hear you.
Yeah, you sound like a gerbil, dude.
Gerbil, is that what he said?
I wonder what it sounds like from him.
I think what Doug is getting at is, so the second part of that was talked about was that if we're not
There
able
you
to
go.
get somebody from the outside that's willing to pro bono give us the consultation for restructuring, then we would handle that internally. Is that right, Doug?
Yes.
Oh, there you are.
Right.
Way to decipher. Good job.
I got kids.
Yeah.
So the current motion on the table is that we work with Jennifer Boardman to find outside consultation for restructuring the organization. And if that is not possible in a timely manner, to handle the restructuring internally. So our plan, the thought behind this is that if we can have somebody come in from outside that is not connected and hasn't been in the middle of everything, that they can give an objective opinion on what they think is needed as far as positions and how to restructure to absorb any gaps with the resignation of the CEO. And how to distribute those responsibilities in a way that doesn't overburden anybody else.
That's the 18th.
Yeah. Do we have any further discussion?
Is it possible for George to absorb some of that?
Yeah, possibly.
Okay.
I think it would be multiple people absorbing stuff. And which would then be probably a change in their job description.
But if we can do it internally, it'll still save us money in the long run.
Either way, yeah, if we can find somebody pro bono to do it, ideally, us not having to handle it internally is probably gonna be easier for the organization versus having to continue to make steep cuts. And I mean, Hank gives them somebody else to be mad at, so.
Okay.
Do we have a second to the motion?
He seconded.
Oh, you did already? Oh, sorry. Right, that's why we were discussing it. Okay, if there's no further discussion, we can move to vote. All
Madam
those
Chair,
in
can I be
favor?
recognized?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
Go ahead,
so
George.
we've had conversations internally of what this would look like, and currently what our
Mhm.
organizational structure looks like is that my role can absorb the duties that Ben was conducting, and we've already got a strategy in place to make that effective. It's now just up to the board of whether you want to move in that direction, but we agree financially, we know that we can't go out for that position. I think that there'll be a
Right.
time for that to be able to happen once, state and federal funding is in place, but trying to put this as gentle as possible, it won't terribly impact my current duties that I'm doing right now.
Okay.
Good to know.
Yeah, and I think short time, that's a beautiful plan, and that'll be a good thing.
I think that's what's currently happening,
Yeah,
right? You
I
guys have
thi-
already kind of.
we kind of already
absorbed it.
delved up the must do's, helped out. And in my experience, these processes they take time, and so to do it right, so if we want to consult with somebody outside, like they have a real job too, so it's gonna
Mhm.
take them 3 to 6 months to give us an answer, and hopefully by then, we have the ability to post a position, whatever that might look like.
Yeah, or we
Don't.
change titles and we
Yes.
absorb that position by changing titles and restructuring.
And we
Right.
can also take a look at what they put together, and who knows, it may be the
Mhm.
right plan, but.
So far, that seems to be the case with Sherry and George and them all working together. That
Yeah.
last meeting that we had with them was pretty impressive. They gave us all kinds of options, and really there was only really one option. So they did a lot of work, and they've done a lot of work to try to make this work, just so everybody knows on that last meeting that we had.
Okay.
Yeah, and to the board, the way the organizational structure works right now, we're running on all cylinders. I will tell you that if you would have asked us, last year, probably in October, if we were the experts in the district in transportation, we were still learning. I would say now there's probably nobody out there that's better well informed as us, as we've gone through the audit, we've gone through massive changes in leadership and in politics, and now trying to steer the board in the right direction financially. And so I do truly believe that if we want to continue to sustain what we currently have, we don't have time to have any other hiccups. We really need to get to a place of stability. And there's a lot of changes that we have to enact immediately once the board does its vote. that we would then do in order to make sure and ensure that we are going to maintain stable ground until funding sort of gets back online, which hopefully will happen as soon as hopefully, the end of January, but I think more like February, March is when we'll start seeing, that money sustained and probably into July with, state funds. So that's what my recommendation would be to the board.
So currently, the way it's running right now, there's no changes that need to be made to that, right? Or is
Now,
what
I-
you're saying right now, that this is working right now? But I think we still probably need to look at long term, and I think that's kind of what this was more focused on is, yeah, we continue with this. Nobody is saying let's post for a GM position. Like, we know financially that's not possible. But can we change titles? Can we move things around? Is there a way to restructure with the current staffing we have that would absorb that title or role moving through to the future? I don't think that we need another position necessarily. I think
Mhm.
maybe just looking at, is there a way to change the job titles, roles, and responsibilities to fit what's needed?
I would just recommend making my job title as interim I think Ben's title was CEO, just making me the interim CEO. I wouldn't recommend breaking up what Ben's roles were actually. Ben's roles were actually supposed to be all outward facing, making connections and contacts with community partners, with other government entities, working on the advertising, everything very outward facing. So currently with what I'm doing and sort of I would say my strengths are in those areas. And so I would just take that on, just put it as interim. And then when we're financially sound, like the recommendation you had just made, I think at that point, then the board can then go out, do a proper recruitment of the position and determine who you want in this position, permanently.
Is there something funding related that the interim CEO position is a title that's needed?
Well,
So
you would
like-
want someone in authority to be able to make some of the decisions that will need to be made as the person that's driving the organization. So I would say the position needs to be able to match the authority that you're going to give that person, which would be the same authority that the board gave to Ben, which is to run the daily operations.
So, just for clarification, George, it sounds like you were saying that the majority of Ben's roles and responsibilities were outward facing and building those relationships, right? So it doesn't
Mhm.
sound like he was doing any of the running the day-to-day operations, correct?
No, the day-to-day operations fall on myself and
So you were already filling that role previously?
correct.
Okay, and then the way the current structure is now.
This chart is terrible.
Yeah. Hold on. So what is the current, so it was Ben. And
So-
then,
If you were to look at an organizational structure, I'm not sure what you guys are looking at, but the way the organizational structure was outlined, it was Ben at the top. And then
Mhm.
Amira reported directly to Ben as
Mhm.
her assistant, and she worked on marketing and also as his assistant. And then there was me right underneath Ben. And then underneath me, it was Sherry, Andre, and Selena.
It's not set up that
so
way.
all those people are on the organization chart, the way it's set up, they are all on an equal standing. So yourself.
That must be
Andre-
an old one.
Okay, so,
Oh, am I supposed to look at the one that I can't read? Sorry, I did not.
sorry.
Cause it's,
So it looks like there's three different
let me
divisions,
get my
correct?
readers.
It's the human resources and accounting, which would be you.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
So the way the current structure is set up, you are still with, if you just eliminate that CEO position, you are the direct report for all of the people underneath you.
Correct.
Right,
Okay.
but
Know that the board ever adopted this organization chart.
this,
I
well,
think
the
one
last
adopted
one
was-
I adopted was this, but there have been months in between, so.
And I don't know if that makes a difference. I
Okay,
think that the
thank you.
board is
Oh,
supposed
sorry.
to-
I was like, I saw
I
things.
think that the board is supposed to adopt or an organization chart, and I think they're also supposed to adopt all of our job descriptions because they had to do that last year in June.
Okay. So
Yes.
it sounds like we may need to reconsider the motion. Instead, I mean, I don't know, what are your guys' thoughts on reaching out to Jennifer for guidance on our current, just our current organizational structure, the org chart?
I think we should, but I recommend no further changes pending review.
Right.
Agreed.
Yeah, so it would be getting her recommendation on the current org chart and changes to it, and then we would adopt it at our next meeting if we all agreed.
I agree.
So Jennifer, I know,
Okay.
has that current org structure right now.
Okay.
She's had it for some time since when Ben adopted it.
Yeah, I think we did it in March. I mean,
This one,
I think so, yeah.
but the
But I
board did
don't know
never.
if. I know Ben approved it, but I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think that the board ever adopted.
Yeah, you knew the past
Okay.
minutes that I was looking at.
Do you want to
Those
kill
might-
or table the existing motion?
I
Well,
feel like the existing motion still holds.
okay. Are you right?
We could maybe amend it to say, motion to work with Jennifer Boardman to find outside consultant for restructuring
Current
and to review the
organizational chart.
organizational chart.
Did you guys catch that?
Yeah. I like that idea.
Cause I think with the organization chart, if we're gonna have to create new job descriptions.
Yes,
So,
which then also has to be approved by.
Approved by the board.
Greg, did you
Yep.
have any?
No, that sounds good.
Okay. Do we need a second amendment? Yeah.
Yes.
Does look
Yes,
like
do we have a
Jennifer has her
second?
hand up.
Oh.
Jennifer?
Yeah, I know, you guys are trying to make determinations on, which direction you should go. You do have compliance review coming up on the 24th and 25th. We have RLS that is going to be here, and this is a perfect opportunity to get some technical assistance from them. So great opportunity to, because they are here to work with you and can provide input on best practices. So my recommendation, well, you do need to have somebody in charge. I would personally, this is my opinion, but you guys have to do what you want to do. It would be to keep it the way that it currently is. You've got the structure. I think that it seems to be, it has been working well. And then you have opportunity to talk with RLS when they come and provide that technical assistance. And they are available because you guys are going to be sending documents off to them, they're going to be asking for additional documents. So you can reach out to them and ask them questions. It is not a problem because they are hired by ODOT to provide technical assistance to our transit providers. So.
Thank
And
you.
are they on site the 24th and 25th?
yes.
They are, yes.
Thank you.
So it sounds like maybe keeping the status quo, and Jennifer's already identified who we need to consult with. So you just want to kill? the
Yep,
motion?
I
Yeah.
think
Okay.
motion to kill the motion.
Yeah.
Not really.
Thanks,
Um,
Motion
Jennifer.
dies. Motion dies.
Yeah. And I don't think don't need a motion to work with them if they're already gonna be here consulting. Okay.
Mhm.
Guess you could just table it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we're gonna table the motion until after RLS comes and does the review.
Sounds good.
So there won't be any changes currently to the organizational chart. So old business is the audio recordings and the route cuts. So 7.1 is the audio recordings. Sherry ran it by,
Yeah, I
Go ahead.
consulted with HR answers and, let them know that there was a little bit of the language that
Mhm.
Word was the, didn't approve of. And so, the language that I have supplied there was language that was supplied and approved by them, and I think it will suffice for what, the
Okay.
concern was.
do we have a motion to accept the change and add that language to our policy?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
And do you guys have any discussion on that, or is everybody good?
So the ORS that's listed here, is that the ORS that covers Oregon's ability to record people? Okay, thank you. Just 'cause I didn't look it up.
Yeah, we did just some last time.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
That was it.
I think the language was that it said that it had to be consent in writing.
Yeah.
And that was the.
Yes.
The part that. Was not. Like, so. We
Right.
changed it, we removed it, we kind of reworded it a little bit.
And I do think it's best practice that when you are recording someone, even after you've received confirmation, that once you hit record, you say, just a reminder, I am recording this conversation.
Right.
That way it's on the record and the person cannot later say, I never consented. So. I got nothing. Does anybody have any other conversations?
Okay, all in favor? Of,
Aye.
Never mind, we're good. Okay. Any opposed? No, okay, I don't think it's passed unanimous
Okay,
with the people that were here.
I'm sorry. What?
I said it was unanimous, but then I said with the people that were here.
Yeah.
So 7.2 is the route cuts. The executive committee met last Friday to review all the potential options and pros and cons of all the proposed changes. Doesn't seem like there's a perfect answer to this.
No.
It's kind of, in my mind, we have to do something and it's not gonna be comfortable, but if we don't make a decision that is gonna have the best case of putting us in the right spot financially, there's a potential for a lot more people to lose their jobs and access to transportation. So we did look at several different options and threw out a lot of different ideas about other things that we could possibly do, and no matter what, we kind of came back around to what was originally presented. Which in my opinion speaks for like what Jessica said and George too, and Sherry, is there's been a lot of work put into this and they didn't bring the proposed cuts to us lightly. They had already done their homework before they brought them. And I know that this is gonna be a huge impact for a large group of people. But I do think that it's our best chance at keeping things moving forward for the majority until the funding is straightened out. Doug, did you or Greg have anything to add on that?
No,
No,
just how hard of work they did put that together.
Go ahead, Doug.
No, I don't have anything down.
We lost you for a second.
He said he doesn't have anything to add.
I think, I think we need to focus too, that it's gonna be, we're looking at it being a temporary solution. It's not gonna be a forever solution. So I'm hoping that it will change.
Okay, so
So I know that when you guys looked at this, you looked at non-emergent medical transport and things like that. Do you know the numbers? Do you know what that'll impact?
The non-emergency medical, we still will have our volunteers,
Okay.
and then the dial ride, so the dialysis patients at this point, it will affect 3.
Okay,
2 of them, Selena said, are moving to Portland.
Okay,
So, in the very near future, and the other one, we can have conversations, Selena said she can have conversations with the dialysis clinic and explain the situation and see if we can get them moved to an earlier time.
okay. And then, I don't remember the answer to this question, so I know that it's a requirement that wherever the route runs, you have to provide non-emergent medical transport and dial-a-ride as, like, that's a requirement that, but if a provider is currently providing services to, say, Canyonville and wanted to continue providing services to Canyonville as non-emergent medical transport, do they have that option if that route doesn't run there?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes, we do, we do. The paratransit is, the fixed route is what, determines the paratransit.
Right.
Requirement, and that will be cut back, to the same hours as the fixed
Okay.
route.
Okay.
But we
Convenient.
still will be able to provide some services, for the dial ride, and we still have the the Bay Cities,
Right,
the broker. So we
okay,
still will. have
because
to-
that's how they provide services in, Reedsport, is because they still provide dial-a-ride.
Yeah, so
Right.
Reedsport, yeah, and Reedsport is on our federal grant, money
Right.
too, so they will still. We have to have the conversation with them after this meeting and let them know that the federal funds may be delayed as well,
Okay,
so.
hey. Yeah, I don't think there's any good way to do
No
this.
way.
Do we have a motion to accept the proposed changes to the routes and staffing? Well, I guess the routes are change the staffing anyways, but yeah.
I think that's one too.
I make motion, we accept the changes as written.
Do we have a second?
I will second it.
Does that help?
Yeah.
And I know we've already had some discussion on it, it sucks.
Yeah,
This is not easy. I can tell you in the executive session, we threw stuff out there that was ridiculous, trying to find solutions. I know there's a ton of work that went into trying to offer up other solutions too, and even with this cut, we're talking about a cushion of $24,000 or less, which is scary. It means that with a budget this size and stuff breaking down or anything else, we still are not in a good position. So this is as slim as we could possibly get. Some of the other options either still left us in the red or with only a $6,000 cushion. And that's just not enough for stuff to go wrong. So it's
right.
an awful choice to have to make, but hopefully, like you said, it's temporary and we can get back on track after.
I would like it to be noted that the new board members walked into this. We didn't create this.
Thanks, Bill. Any other discussion? Okay, all in favor?
I,
Aye.
Any
Nice.
opposed?
That was nice. They all did it like separate.
Okay, so motion passes.
Oh,
We can open now for public comment for on agenda items only. And your name?
Oh, my name is Mercedes Lane.
Okay, yeah.
Mercedes Lane. Mercedes, but Millie, please. Just for-
Mercy, Millie, where do you live?
I live here in Roseburg, Oregon. I live right down at the old Colhagen.
Okay.
And I have something I'd like to share with you guys. I am a disabled advocate for people with disabilities and a former Oregon State employee in disability, from disability service, where I was a personal support worker. I did most of my work in Lincoln County and a little bit in Marion and very slim here in Douglas County for a short time. Let me tell you all a quick story. As a child, I lived in a disabled household. My family, parents, me, and my handicapped sibling had genetic and or developmental disabilities. Because of this, outings, trips, and holidays were difficult unless within the right circumstances. I live 30 minutes from the city, so after I got my license and car, I got a taste of freedom not many of my disabled peers got to have. When I moved to Roseburg to be with my partner, I was very blind to the issues regarding public transportation around the country, especially in Oregon. Looking at Oregon in particular being home. I understand that the problems and cuts we've been seeing, such as Saturday service, removal of buses and routes, layoffs, such lately isn't entirely the fault of Douglas County or UTrans, it's at least half. As I'm sure you're all aware, as details come around, some of this stems from significant shortfalls in federal and state funding. According to ODOT, they confessed to cutting at least 300 million in funding, increasing efficiency, shrinking operations, consolidating facilities, and deferring maintenance, quote. Unquote. Deferring maintenance. I'm sorry. I grew up in Lincoln County, and although I've only been here since 2023, the system I've seen, I proclaim corrupt. How dare you choose to push aside maintenance, fixing the buses, the roads, and this isn't just for UTrans, it's for people in general, the entirety state of Oregon. The sidewalks keep our kids, our elders, and our families safe. The accident on Stewart Parkway is a very good example. Because a vehicle is only one pothole, one curb, one loose bolt away from an accident. I'd also like to give a shout out to our former CEO of UTrans. For those in the room who weren't aware, former CEO, until last Monday. I would like to say, how dare you? People are here fighting for what they deserve, for freedom, for what people in general, not just you, took away. And your last move is to cut all these things. Now, I know my information is probably underdeveloped and probably somewhat biased, and I understand that. But I'm speaking out for many people that think my way as well. I'm sorry to say this to the former CEO, but you are a coward, a raisin among grapes. And may I say the same for at least mildly for the rest of the board, because you didn't listen to the people first, although I do understand the budget cuts. It's hard. I know because I was here before. If you want to fix the system, you fix the morals and fight. For my final statement, I would like to say, I know I don't look disabled to those rose tinted glasses for many people. And I'm very young. I don't look like the stereotype of disability. I have PTSD as well as many other things, but I'm human too. Stop taking away our accessibility. We're not stray animals. I also know that discrimination against anyone, especially the disabled, is illegal, which makes discriminating against public transportation that's meant for accessibility, especially for disabled and children, illegal. That's why we have the Americans with Disabilities Act. It's our law-bound civil right, and as my right, I will fight for the people. Because people in the government sure aren't. Thank you for your guys' time.
Yeah, thank you. Do we have any other public comment?
Anyone online?
I'd like to make a comment if possible.
Melissa?
Yes. The yellow line is what's being cut. As far as what I understand, the yellow line is one of the most important lines because it creates the connection between the rural areas of our community to Roseburg. And by cutting off access to Canyonville, Riddle, and Myrtle Creek, Tri-City, we're creating a very big problem with us being able to get from these lower rural areas into Roseburg for doctor's appointments, for ODHS, for SNAP benefits, EBT, for those things that our community has to go to Roseburg in order to be a part of. And I know that you guys have looked at what is the best scenario, but this is the only line that comes down to these areas. And by cutting off that access, it's going to create a really horrible situation for a lot of people down here. I understand that you guys have to look at where is the best place to make those cuts. I would rather personally see cuts around town where at least you can move around in the town versus going all the way out, 20 miles out of the town to be able to get to these places where we don't have a DHS office to go to. We don't have a place to go and sign up for the different social programs. All of that stuff is in Roseburg. And the only way that we can get there is through the UPTD. I forget the acronym. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. UPTD, you got it.
And you know, we have cars and we have the ability to use things like the Bay City brokerage, but those also, you have to have those things pre-planned. You can't just call same day and ask for those services if there's an emergency, or if this is your only day off and so now you're able to get up to town to the food pantries or something. You know, we already have that accessibility limited by the amount of times that we have the bus coming through this area, where we're having to work within that schedule of only seeing it hit down here a few times a day. But now to have it completely cut off will create a very big hardship on the people in this rural communities.
Thank
That's
you,
it for me.
Melissa. And I understand that. So I live in Glide also, and we don't have access to transportation. And I know there were probably about 6 months of time when I relied on begging people for rides for me and my 2 kids because I didn't have a vehicle. And it was about impossible. I almost lost my job, which would have then led me to lose my house. I appreciate what you're saying, and I can tell you too that even though we have said we're moving ahead with this cut, that doesn't mean that we're stopping looking at options or that we're not exhausting them. One of the big conversations that we had is how can we partner with other organizations or agencies to try to get some services down there. I wish we could, cut an hour or 2 from every single route and that would make up the difference. It was a couple thousand versus this large amount, and that doesn't make it any easier. And I'm not
excusing.
Yeah, I'm not excusing it or saying that at all, but I want to reassure you that we are not stopping looking at ways to get this back up or to try to find a way to bridge that gap in services in the meantime. We are talking about a lot of different options. They don't get brought necessarily fully to the public until they're developed, because the last thing we want to do is give false hope or tell you something that we can't then deliver on later, but we are working on it.
Or unintentionally burn a bridge that we're currently trying to build.
Yes.
And
I
I'm
do have
sorry,
a-
Melissa, where are you from? I forgot to ask.
I'm in Myrtle Creek.
Thank
And
you.
my children, they utilize the bus to go to school and from school every day because they go to school in Canyonville. They have 504 plans and a social network that we've created there after going through a really rough divorce. And so I've kept them at Canyonville for their therapeutic needs instead of moving them to Myrtle Creek. So we actually use that bus every single day during the school year. And so this will affect us in that sense that, whether or not they're able to get to school, we might have to look at switching school districts now. And this is in their 8th grade year, which I understand is not as big a need as everyone else, people who need to get up to go and see DHS and stuff, it's obviously not as big of a deal, but it's still something that does affect us. So it's important to us. I know that you said that you guys are partnering with other places. Do you have any advice you could give for partnering for them to be able to go to school still? Because I know that Dial-A-Ride probably would not be a service that we'd be able to use, since that would be more geared towards like medical needs.
We can look into that and
don't know the
shoot you
answer.
will you put your email in the chat?
That'll be seen by everyone.
Oh, wait, never
Don't
mind.
do that.
Can
you look up on the website, or Sherry's email should be there, somebody's email from EPTD that you can just shoot an email in and just say that you're the Melissa from the call.
Yeah, I'll send an email.
Thank you. I don't want your email to be public record, sorry.
There is no lesser impact, whether it's your kids going to school or a medical appointment, the impact is what it is regardless. The trauma or inconvenience and everything that this is gonna cause you is equal regardless if it's for a DHS appointment or your kids getting to school. We fully appreciate that. I don't lessen the impact at all. Especially when what you're talking about. I know how hard it is for kids, especially going to junior high. Junior high is awful. I don't think any of us want to repeat that again, let alone switch to a new school, so.
And when your kiddo's on a 504, having that routine is pretty significant, so we understand how this is impacting.
Is there any other public comment? Yeah.
Hi.
My name is Rick Bingham. I live here in Roseburg. Until recently, I utilized the bus system frequently, in order to get my groceries especially. Because without the bus system, I cannot walk to do something like that. And I know there are many people in my position. If it wasn't for a car being left to me in a will, I would still be utilizing the bus system right now. I would like to pose the question of why are you giving the CEO that is leaving a severance package when he is quitting? When you can be using that money to help people like Melissa, who is trying to get their kids to school, or someone like me who's trying to get to the store or whatever.
If you don't mind, I'll answer real quick.
Yeah.
It's part of the employment contract. And that has all been given to an attorney and is all being dealt with through an attorney, but the employment contract that was entered into with the former CEO stated that that severance was to be paid out whether he quit or was terminated without cause.
Okay, so can you look into the future of changing that? Because I believe.
Almost guarantee you.
Yeah, because I believe that if someone is going to quit their job, they should not be given more money.
We agree, we're in agreement.
Rick, I can tell you that it will not happen again.
Okay.
Never.
And if you, and please continue, I just wanted to make sure that you knew that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I also was wanting to bring the question of, could you like make the yellow line at least one day a week or one time a day or something like that, so that it's not completely gone?
We did look at those options. Those were some of the things that were presented, and because it's such a far distance and even doing like one route a day, so like a morning and a night, the cost was not the same as eliminating it completely, but it still left us with a significant deficit. Now, if reimbursements were to come in at more than we think or sooner, then those would be real possibilities. We did talk about that option though. We even talked about the option of combining it with another route and making another route longer, and that would cause a 3.5 hour bus ride for people, with no way to get off in between. So that also ended up being not feasible, but those were options that were looked at. Yeah, but thank you for, hey, we're open to any.
Yeah.
Any suggestions, but
Please.
yes, yeah.
Yeah, those were just questions I had, and
Yeah.
I thank you for answering them.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I believe that is all I have for today. Thank you.
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you, Rick.
If there isn't any other public comment oh, sorry, go ahead.
Hi, my name is Crystal Hall, and I currently am employed at UPTD and have been since 2020, shortly after the district became the district. I live in Winston. And right now I'm watching a repeat of what happened last year. I was there for the initial audit of RLS in 2020 and also last year. And the consultation thing and the interim thing is obviously not something that worked for us.
Mhm.
And I really feel strongly that we should not go that route. This has been a very hard year. Especially for those of us that are there in the building
Mhm.
every day. You know, boots on the ground, and there's been a lot of things happen that have been extremely, in my opinion, very shady.
Mm.
And to be an employee and having to go home at night and look on the internet, hopefully find out some information about what's happening at your job is wrong. We should have some communication internally in regards to what's happening and what's going on and what decisions are being made.
Mhm.
Like, I deal with the data, which means all these cuts that we're making, I'm the one that's gonna be tracking all of that. And at this point, I have no idea what they all are.
Mhm.
And that's a lot of work to deal with. So not that I wanna see any cuts, by all means I don't, but understand that it has to happen. And I also watched, when I came on, we were on COVID shutdown, so there was a lot of routes that weren't functioning.
Mhm.
So I watched everything open back up. I watched Saturday service become a thing because it hadn't been a thing before. And now I'm watching us go backwards.
Mhm.
And now I'm watching this. The CEO GEM thing repeat itself a year later. And it's very, very frustrating. And I really think that it needs to be addressed, and I think that those of us that are there every day need to have a voice.
Mhm.
Nobody is coming to talk to us, hearing how things are, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, where is that interaction? It affects all of us, yet none of us are included.
I will say, I think I've had 7 or 8 employees and different people send emails to me and reach out and outline concerns and things that they're seeing and things that they would like to see. And I think I hopefully I have responded to every single one with thanking them for bringing it to our attention, and that yes, like I will make sure. I think most of them CC'd the executive board. But it's my intention that those be sent to the entire board and that everybody can hear. And I would ask for patience. The last thing we want to do is come in with a wrecking ball. And so it's going to take time to make sure that things are done the right way and in a way that has the least amount of impacts. And unfortunately, being a public entity, it takes even more time. A private organization, you do come in kind of with the chopping block and just make whatever changes need to be happen. But I do know that everyone, as far as I understand, and everyone on the board that I have talked to, has the district's interest and really wants to see this be successful. And I know I personally do. And we are having those conversations, and we will have the conversations with the employees. And I think right now, we're not talking about putting anyone in as interim. Right now, we're talking about, let's meet with RLS. Did I get that right?
Yes, you did.
Good job. On the 24th and
And-
25th,
and
and
I
go
was-
from there.
And I was in the RLS meeting when
Mhm.
they specifically stated
Gave us recommendations.
to Cheryl Chase
Mhm.
before she resigned
Mhm.
that the consultation was not a good idea.
To
And
clarify,
she proceeded to do it.
they stated that they highly recommended that a consultant with great expertise in transportation be hired. And so I think my vantage point would be, yes, we did have a lot of these conversations a year ago.
Yes.
And the board is a different board that I truly believe will partner with RLS and ODOT to make sure that we don't end up here again in a year. That's my hope.
Doug,
my
did you,
dream.
I'm sorry. I didn't
Sorry,
mean to
no,
cut
no,
you
no, you're
off.
fine.
Doug, did you have something to add?
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were trying to say something. I wanted to make sure that we heard from you also. Greg, did you have anything? I saw you shake your head no, so.
No, it keeps going on mute.
That's all right.
Okay, well, thank you for hearing me out. I just feel like
Thank you.
there's a lot of people not being heard right now.
Mhm.
And a lot of things happening outside of our control with no input, and they impact us directly.
please send the emails. I may feel like it's pointless, but it's not. And like I said, it is gonna take time. And I would just ask to be patient, and I will make sure that anything that's sent to me does get shared with the entire board. And that we do give it the attention it deserves. We are gonna depend on getting that input from everyone in order to form a complete picture of things that are happening now. So,
Yeah, well, thank you.
yeah, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we can move to public comment for not on agenda items. If there is any. Please say no. Okay, is there anything else from the board? Bill, anything?
No, nothing from me.
Okay, Greg?
No, I think we've covered it.
Okay, Doug?
No.
All right, well, with no further comment, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you, guys.